I put my trust in you, and I trust in our love. I put my trust in you, I put my trust in love. I put my trust in you, and I trust in our love. I put my trust in you, I put my trust in love.
Hello, friends. My name is Dane Miller.
Hey there, friends. My name's Niall Spain. Hello, friends. We're your fuck buddies.
We're a sex and dating advice podcast where we take your sticky, sexy situations and turn them into sexy, sticky situations.
It's simple. We find them either here or roaming the wilds of the internet, the questions, that is, and we answer them right here, right now, for you, to you, with you, because of you.
I've been watching Silo. I just started watching Silo.
Okay.
And right now I'm feeling
spoilers.
I feel like I'm
We can't do
common
another
right
Bones episode, Dane.
I can do whatever I want. Common is in it, and he's always like, I don't know. I feel very common right now.
I
like
prefer rare.
Not like common as in,
in me.
easily accessible.
Not common as in half of the podcast that isn't Dane, but common as in... Yeah.
Common as in the rapper turned actor.
Mm-hmm. The assassin from John Wick.
Correct. He was in John Wick 2,
I don't know
I believe.
any actors. I'm so good.
Yeah, that's because he's not just an actor.
Yeah, it's
he's
true.
also
It's true.
a hip-hop
Rap
legend.
superstar. How's 2026 treating you so far? Because guess
So
what? It's a
far,
whole new year.
So far, so good. I mean, I don't think we can get too excited. We've already released an episode. The new year is old.
Oh,
we don't
shit.
care about that anymore. In this day and age of instant gratification, 2026 we're bored of. We're pushing 2027 up
Happy New Year.
11 months, and
Happy
New Year
New
is
Year.
on January 31st now.
Happy New Year.
Yeah.
Just want to say
So we've already said it.
it. But that
We
was
don't
in
say things-
2025.
Hey, if there's
I know,
one
hey,
thing
look.
we don't do on our podcast, it's say the same thing
we
more
would
than
never
once.
do that. We would never do that. Every question so distinct. Never repeat the same advice in that question. It's a pity that you're sick of the New Year because some of my questions pertain to it, but we're going to talk about how do people even meet their partners?
Letting my husband come in my mouth, but I can't do it.
My fiance lied about being a vegetarian for 2 years.
How do I have sex?
Finally, we get to it.
We did it.
How do people even meet their partners? This is by Delulu is the Solulu. I've decided 2026 is the year I'm going to get engaged. Problem is, I'm single. Turning 29 in a month, and I've been through university twice and haven't met anyone. There's no one at work. And my circle of friends isn't a very big circle. Is the only solution dating apps? I don't really want to waste my time while it feels like online shopping for a husband when most people do it on the apps aren't serious. I don't do if, buts, and maybes. I do absolutes. So the question is, do I just suck it up and try the apps? Or do I wear a hat or something that says I'm single and sit at coffee shops and just wait? Or like, what do I do? Because I'm going to be engaged this year. I just need to find my husband.
Boy, I thought this was going to be a different question in terms of we'll talk about it is, yes, as you get older and in this world of online communication, it's hard to meet new people.
That would be repeating ourselves. We've done that question. This is some fresh new shit. It's hot. Hot off the market, bro. Fresh shit. Scoop it. Scoop my fresh shit.
Don't say that out loud to me ever. The idea that you have decided that you're going to be engaged by the end of the year is troubling for a number of reasons. Number one, that means you have less than, I would say, probably about 11 months to get to know someone before getting engaged to them, which I think is incredibly fast.
Yeah,
Two,
you don't know someone after 11 months.
The reality of it is if you are that dead set on it, you're probably going to do it before 11 months, which means you're going to do it faster than you could possibly know someone. So let's just get that out of the way. I think if you're getting engaged to someone, when you're talking about absolutes and you're talking about you don't do if, buts, and maybes, hey, guess what? The easiest way to break that is by marrying someone after knowing them for less than a year and then realizing that you guys aren't a good fit for any number of reasons and then having to get divorced. Or alternatively, living miserably for the rest of your life, because that seems to be your two options, right?
So like the point of getting married is to spend time or to be like intimately linked to the person that you love. It's not, there's no benefit of being married outside of being with the person that you love and want to like dedicate and commit yourself to. So it's like
they could have incredible health insurance.
Taxes. And I guess if you want them to die so you can take their money, shitty options.
Yeah.
But the main one is that. So it's like, what's the benefit of being married? Is your life that sad that you think you need this social chip on your shoulder to be able to like feel worthwhile? Because therapy and or finding other outlets for that Are you just socialized to think that that's all you're worth? Because therapy and or find a better outlet for that. Are you just so lonely? Because guess what? You could be not lonely and not engaged, or you could be engaged and be very lonely because maybe you rushed it and took less than a year, and then you got engaged to someone who sucks shit because you care more about the title than the person and the situation.
Just the door that you're opening is so bad because one, as now kind of touched on there, is like you open yourself up to the worst kind of people, right? If your whole vibe, and I assume you're not going to have the chill to not say that you're going to be engaged by the end of the year to every man that you meet, is
well, she doesn't do ifs, buts, or maybes.
So all it takes is one dude who's a piece of shit who is like, oh, all I have to do is be very charming for X amount of time. I'm going to marry this woman. And then, I can abuse her. I can take advantage of her. I can take her for half her money once we get divorced. I can, whatever, right?
Now that she's tied to me in a way that's going to be incredibly taxing, both like socially, emotionally, monetarily, I can get away with a lot more. Great.
And I'm not saying that everyone is out to get you, blah, 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 blah. I'm just saying that I talk a lot about building foundations. I talk a lot about having a strong foundation for a relationship and just for like life in general.
Yeah, like
right?
Dane's background in construction shines through every episode. He's talking about joists. He's talking about big glue.
Big glue.
Big glue, man.
Those are the two things you know about construction, joists and big glue, which I assume you mean like the corporations that make glue and not a novelty-sized thing of glue.
I don't think they make houses using novelty-sized tubs of glue. What do you think of me, Dane?
Big glue holding the house together.
Well, what else could it be is my only, just think about it logically.
What I'm saying is your basis, your foundation, again, as Nell said, to spend the rest of your life, ideally, with the person that you love, is to choose the end goal and worry about none of the important things. It's like saying like, by the end of this year, I want to write a novel and then go and like open a publishing company. And it's like, great, you have a publishing company. Fantastic. You still don't have a fucking book. You don't have a single idea on paper. You don't even have a concept of idea because you don't even, you've mentioned like nothing about like what kind of relationship you want. You don't, you just seem to be engaged. Yeah. That's what you want. Engaged.
It's like saying you want to write a novel, starting, realizing it's hard and only getting like 2 chapters in. And then it's the end of the year and you go, well, I'll just blindfold myself and type and then I'll stop when I hit 80,000 words. And then you do. And guess what? Your novel's a piece of trash. It's an absolute piece of trash. You get laughed out of the fucking room and you've wasted your time and then you're stuck because the publisher's not going to want to work with you. Blacklisted.
So you also have this like weird hang up about the apps, which look, I understand. The apps can be challenging, especially
I met
for
my
women.
Partner on the apps, bruh.
I also met my partner on the apps.
We met our partners on the apps, bruh. It's like, look, do the apps mean you're going to get a beautiful relationship? No. Do they mean you're going to only find people who want to hook up? No. It's kind of what you do with it, right? Are there going to be people who want to hook up there? Yes. Are there going to be people that don't want to or are open to more? Also, yes. It's just another avenue.
Yeah, it's about going into like the apps. I know this is kind of like we're going to start talking about app etiquette now. But the apps are sort of what you put into it. And if you go in and your profile is, I'm going to be married by the end of this year, or I'm going to be engaged by the end of this year, you are going to get no response, or you're going to get the crazy response.
Yes. And I want to jump off what you're saying right now, because I meant to say it earlier. You're not going to find a normal person who's going to get engaged with you this year, because that's not what a normal person would do. So you're going to get someone who either has bad intentions, is really insecure, is really desperate, controlling, delusional. Like you're not going to get a normal person because that's not normal.
And I want to throw in the usual sort of disclaimer of like, I'm sure that there are people who have met and been engaged within a year who love each other and have had a successful relationship and got married and whatever. But I would wager strongly that they both didn't start their year saying, I'm going to get engaged. It was probably a special, perfect storm of circumstances and, genuine affection and love and attention that probably got them there.
People have been got shot in the head and survived. That doesn't mean you should shoot yourself in the head.
I just don't want people, who have done this. It's like happening.
There are exceptions to every rule. Yes. However, I would wager a lot of what I own on the high majority of people who would be willing to get engaged to you in 11 months is not going to be normal, well-adjusted, good partners.
Or the relationship isn't going to be good.
Well,
because
but the relationship, same thing, really.
Because ideally, like, so what you would have, like, want to do is, like, within a year, you're going to hopefully move in together, because I don't think you should marry someone that you haven't lived with, because that's crazy. So you're going to move in within less than a year, and then you're going to get engaged within the year. That's a lot.
Also, the honeymoon phase is by no means over at that point. So if things are going well, that's not even an indicator that things will continue to go well. Anyway, look, girl, this is a bad call. Open yourself up to a relationship, but don't force it, because what are you getting? Like, you're sacrificing the things that would stop you by forcing it. And the things that would stop you are a bad match, right?
Yes.
So it's like, if it was going to happen, it would happen. If it's not going to happen, you forcing it means you're sacrificing on these elements. And it's like, is being engaged worth it to you for that? And if so, why? Because what could be worth tying yourself to someone you don't want to be with? That sounds like a nightmare.
Think about the flip side of stuff. Think about all the dudes who are going to bars with the sole, like, goal to get laid. Think about all the dudes who get on the apps whose only goal is to get laid. And think about how many of them, one, are so fucking transparent and obvious as to what they're doing that is so off-putting. And think about how many of them fail because of that. So to go in with the energy of, like, anytime anyone goes in with the energy, especially when it comes to relationships, of I'm going to do this, I'm going to get a girlfriend, you're going to scare everyone away who might actually be interested in you. And as we've talked about before, it's like, you're going to get people who aren't probably the cream of the crop. And do you really want to go with someone who is so desperate that this is their chance?
Yeah.
Right? Like, is that what you want? And
Exactly.
if it is, I think you have to really reevaluate what is important to you and what your priorities are, and why getting engaged is such a crucial thing for you to do this year. Because I promise you, once you peel back all the layers, you're going to be like, oh, insecurity. Oh, abandonment issues. Oh, like,
yeah,
all
I
this
want to
stuff
make that
needs to
one
be dealt
social
with.
media post with my ring so that the girls I went to high school with think I'm worthwhile. They don't give a shit, and neither should you.
Yeah, especially when you're like, here's this guy I met 11 months ago.
Here's Dusty Daniel.
Because, hey, look, I know someone who got engaged, I believe, within like 3 months. And no one that I know who also knew this person talked about how cool that was. There was conversations about that engagement.
Probably
And
like, oh no, are they okay?
and-
This is bad.
yes.
So that's what the
in
girls
fact-
from high school are going to say.
Yeah, that's the thing. So that's the point I'm trying to make, is that no one, if you're doing this for outside perspective, if you're doing this because you're worried that you are X years old and you're not engaged and people are going to judge you for that, people are going to judge you so much worse if it is obvious that you're just marrying the first schlub who would throw a ring on your finger.
Also, and like, I don't want to make anybody who has gotten divorced feel bad, but like, there is something kind of embarrassing about getting married and then immediately getting divorced. I've seen it
Especially
happen.
when it's so, like, fucking shotgun, right? Like, it's one thing to, like, you've tried it a couple of years, it didn't work, you go your own way, whatever.
That's fine. We support divorce here massively.
We are,
you know what I mean?
divorce encouragers.
We are encouragers of the divorce. We're pro-divorce.
But there is something to be said if you are getting married and divorced with, like, in the same year, because you didn't take the fucking time to make smart decisions.
Yes. So just really reevaluate why you're tying your self-worth to getting engaged, because, like, that's not the point. The point isn't the engagement. The point is the partner. And if you can't see that, you're judging shit so fucked up that, like, you need to reevaluate.
Yeah. And it goes for all relationships. Like,
Yes.
if you're like, this is the year I'm going to get a boyfriend. No,
Yeah, no.
don't do that. Please. Like, I understand that, like, if it's a much different vibe if you have done some work, you've gone to some therapy, and you're like, you know what? This year I'm actually open to dating.
Being open,
Completely different.
very different thing, and we love it.
That's great. We're happy for that kind of stuff. If you're like, oh, this year, if I find someone I like, I would consider getting into a relationship with them. Whereas, like, there are many years in my life where I was like, I'm happy to date and I want to date, but if something gets a little too serious, I'm gonna have to have a conversation and we'll probably have to break it off unless they're cool with maintaining the status quo of what we're doing. And that's fine too. But to decide the end goal before you have any of the other pieces in play is nuts.
I think somebody commented on, I think it was this post. I'm not going to open it and try to find it, but they said something like forcing a relationship or a marriage is like forcing a fart. It'll probably end up shit.
Yeah.
Pretty good. It's pretty good.
This is from Amazing Tension. I want my husband to come in my... Now, they did write moth.
Whoa. Okay,
But-
whole different question. The moth can't consent, so
But it is mouth. But I can't
Is
do it. Help.
I also
In my
couldn't
past.
do it. If his little mothy face is looking at me, is he one of those like
Yeah.
furry ones?
In my past, I never liked to give my husband oral, felt like a chore, and never ever allowed him to come in my mouth. I find cum disgusting. I recently discovered that I enjoy coming using a toy on my clit while sucking my husband's dick. Hearing him moan and beg to explode in my mouth while I feel his erection in my mouth really does it for me. He knows he is not allowed to come in my mouth, but sometimes our sex gets so hot and I'm so fucking turned on that I think, fuck it, and I want him to force him to flood my mouth as I come with him, but I'm not able to bring myself to do it. Any tips on how to overcome the disgust? I think our sex will be much hotter if I find a way.
There's a lot here because it's like I don't want to do it, but I do, but not enough to want to.
So I think that's kind of what I want to talk about, because I don't know about you, but sometimes in the heat of the moment, I say things that I don't necessarily want to follow through with. For example, if I'm being particularly dominant, sometimes I will talk about fucking someone in the ass.
Okay.
As a like, I don't want to say potential threat, but like a like the next step, like, you know, keep doing it, and like either I will as a reward or as a, but I don't really like anal sex. It's not really my thing. But in the heat of the moment, it seems like the natural evolution of like what we're up to and what we're
the
doing.
next step. Yeah, sure.
But like when it all calms down, I'm like, uh-oh, I'm gonna have to have a
That was
conversation about
Demon
this.
Dane.
Yeah, that was Sex Brain Dane, who knew you would find that hot and get into it and liked that idea. And I liked the idea of you liking it, so I said it. But now I do have to have the conversation of being like, I don't really like anal. And there is that conversation of, you know, if you're really into it, we'll give it a shot and see what happens. But I do think that like this is kind of what's happening. I think like in
there's
heat of moment,
a key difference because she's not saying it. Because when you say it, I don't think you believe it. You're saying it, but you know full well that that's not your like goal.
but in the heat of the moment for me,
you do believe it.
I do kind of think like, oh, it would kind of be hot if I do that. But then I think about it like once everything is calmed down, I do think
okay.
about like, no, I don't want to do that.
Okay. So maybe there's not as much, but for me, it felt more like she's not having a conversation out loud with him. She's having it in her own head to herself
Yes.
and then not getting there. So I just want to say a couple things. One, if you really wanted it, I don't know that you would get to the point of still not being able to do it. So maybe just reevaluate how much you do actually want it in the moment, because you're saying it would be really hot, but I don't want to. So if you don't want to, that's fine. It feels like you guys are okay not wanting it. I do feel like you have a weird hang up on head in general, just being like, I don't like it and I didn't allow him. And it's just like, it feels like you're so negative about it. And now you only seem to have flipped a switch because your pleasure is involved in it. And I don't know enough to comment on that, but it does seem kind of negative to me. That kind of sucks.
I also wonder if like how much were you like you said, oh, I never liked to do it before because it felt like a chore, which but like how much like were you actually doing, like was that the mindset you were going in with? Because yeah, if you like, if I start any sort of task and I'm like, this is the worst thing that's ever happened to me, I'm not gonna like, it's gonna be 10 times worse because of that.
Yeah,
but it
for you
seems like
and
now
them.
that you've like you're talking about, oh, I like feeling his erection in my mouth growing, and I like this and I like that. It's like, well, it
That's
does
it.
seem like you do enjoy like giving or like performing oral sex. It just seems like a mind shift and a
that's-
change of.
That's what confused me. It's like now that you're using a toy on yourself, you're suddenly fine with it. Like, I don't know what's happened here. And it does feel like there's a mental thing you need to either explain better to us or figure out yourself. But like, that's fine. I'm just saying you don't have to do it, right? If you are really this hung up, you don't have to do it. Because like, short of having him come in your hand and you like take a little taste, you can't have him like come a little bit in your mouth and see how it is. It's going to be all or nothing, right? So it's like,
That's yeah.
I don't know if you want to have him come on you somewhere like your chest or your face or in your hand and then like maybe lick it off your hand or do something, because that's pretty much the only way to test the water short of being waterboarded with cum.
But I think this is the move, right? Like I think if your idea is to sort of like immersion therapy your way out of your disgust of cum, I don't think in your mouth the first time is the way to do it. I think Niall is correct.
The most amount. That's the most amount in the most violent, like immediate, inescapable way. And it's like, if
and like the least, like you can't really escape it.
Yes. If you get overwhelmed or throw up or like go like, man, that's awful. Like that's not a good scenario for you or them. So take it chill. Have them come on your tits and then use a hand and have a little sample.
I mean, I don't even know if you need to do that. Like if you're, depending on how like bad your aversion to it is, I think like maybe just start with having him, like Niall said, like finish on your chest or somewhere and like,
just see if even it being on you is
if that is enough, right? And then be like, hey, okay, we're gonna take this as a win.
Step one,
I'm not
it's
freaking
on
out.
me, boom.
It's on here. I'm not running to the washroom to shower off or towel off or whatever. But I think what you need to do is have a conversation also ahead of time. Be like, I would hope at this point in time he knows your distaste for cum. And be able to be like, hey, so lately I've been thinking it'd be kind of hot if you came in my mouth, but I'm really worried that if you do, I'm going to gag or something. And I don't want you to feel bad about that. It's not your cum that's the problem. It's just,
I just have a hang.
The idea of it. It's I don't like it, and it has nothing to do with you. Because then, one, you offset the hopes of, like, as Niall said, like, making someone feel like there'd be no worse feeling than someone being like, gross, disgusting. Yeah, because, like, it's hard not to take that personally. So it'd be nice to at least have that, like, layer and that initial, once again, foundation of communication.
Get that big glue.
Of being like,
what is cum but big glue?
What is cum if not big glue? And two, I think what you should do is also have your like emergency kit as well. So have a towel, have a warm, like wet
bowl
towel. Have if that's how bad it is. Yeah,
no, genuinely.
Maybe, right? Like have a garbage can nearby, have a towel, have a big glass of water. If you do finally decide to have like a little sweet treat, like a little candy or something to get it out of your mouth. If you like, don't just go into this and be like, I want to do it, but I absolutely hate it, but it'll be fine, because it probably won't be.
And honestly, if it's that bad, maybe don't even have him come on you first. Have him like come on his stomach or whatever, and then like dip a finger. Like genuinely, if you're that adverse to it, there are ways that you don't have to dive fully in the deep end here, right? So keep the communication open. Don't try to do anything in the moment in terms of like, if he is basing himself off don't come in mouth protocol and you have a mouthful of cock, it's going to be really hard for you to explain to him, actually, no, this time I actually do want you to come in. Like, if you feel like you're ready for that point, maybe have either a safe word, a hand signal, or like, if you feel yourself getting to that point, disengage, say it to him. But again, you need to be like ready. So I think having that conversation prior to the head is a good thing, and building up to it, if you are this adverse, is a good thing, because like you don't want to, write a check that your body only thinks it wants to cash because it's horny.
Yeah.
So
100%.
Work your way up. Be communicative, do your best prep so that you don't, again, cause a really embarrassing, upsetting situation. And again, if you're not into it, don't force yourself.
Yeah. I mean, I used to hook up with someone who, like, way back at the beginning of, like, when I first started having sex, there was a woman who was like, hey, I hate cum. And I was like, cool. That's like, we'll work around that. Like, just let me know what I need to do to avoid this, and we'll be good. And she had like a little like emergency cum kit in her bedside table, where it's like she had like wet wipes, she had a couple candies, she had, and she was just like ready to go if it ever happened. And I was like, that's smart. You're taking care of, you've got your thing, you're ready to go. And I was like, I understand it. Like, it kind of sucks being like, I hate that you need this, because hopefully, presumably you've had the conversation. Like, we were using condoms and protection, and like, so I was like, I would have to be a pretty giant asshole for you to require these things.
Yeah, but
I would have
one,
to like pull out, take
safe.
my condom off, and ejaculate all over you. Or after you've told me you don't like cum, while you're giving me a blowjob, just like sneakily be like, haha, just kidding.
But like, if she's giving someone a hand job or something, like, I'm sure things can happen. So better safe, you got this. This is my fiance lied about being a vegetarian for 2 years. They're both 26, both female. Traore meet fiance. We've known each other for 5 years, engaged for 6 months, but we've known each other since we were like 6. Recently, I ran into a mutual friend of my fiance and I. We ended up talking about a dinner they went to a couple weeks back. I ended up finding out I was invited to the dinner, but my fiance never told me. Apparently, she told the group I couldn't come because the menu wasn't vegetarian friendly. She never told me about the dinner, and I was free that night. When I got home, I asked my fiance about it, and she broke down and told me she hadn't been a vegetarian for 2 years and was hiding it from me because she was worried my parents would start to hate her. My parents have made a couple pointed comments about my sister-in-law who is not vegetarian, some of which are about her not being vegetarian, but their comments are because they hate her, and they use her not being vegetarian as just another reason to insult her. They don't just hate non-vegetarians. I don't care if my fiance is vegetarian or not. I'm mostly vegetarian because I have certain dietary issues that make it easier to be vegetarian. I asked my fiance why she didn't tell me. She insists it's just because of my parents, but I can't get over that answer. I can understand her wanting to hide it from my parents, but I don't get her hiding it from me. Imagine she didn't trust me enough to not tell my parents, but I also feel like I can't trust her anymore if she's willing to lie to me about something as small as this for so long. She might have lied about other things in the past. I'm staying at my brother's for the last couple of days because I don't know if I can forgive her yet. Advice on how to move forward from this?
Okay, I feel like I missed. So was supposed to be vegetarian, and she was invited to a dinner, as was he or her.
They're both ladies.
Both ladies? Okay.
Yeah.
So
So they were both vegetarian. Like 2 years ago, the partner stopped being vegetarian, kept it a secret. And to maintain that secret, even though they were both invited to this dinner, she didn't tell her partner that she was invited, and she lied to everyone else and said that she was invited but wouldn't come because it wasn't vegetarian friendly.
Gotcha. Okay.
To maintain this this vegetarian facade because she's worried about the parents.
I love. You know what's cool about these parents is that like, oh, our daughter's gay, marrying a woman. Fuck it, don't give a
Fine.
shit. Eats meat though. Fuck this bitch.
Well, no, apparently they just hate her, and the vegetarianism is just a arrow in their quiver, which is like, look, I can be a hater sometimes, but you got to be a real hater,
her, right? It's at her like sister's fiance.
Yeah.
They don't like her sister's fiance, or partner, or whatever. Yeah, okay.
Like, if you're gonna hate for a reason. Like, if you hate someone, but then you're like, I don't know, I'm gonna mock the fact that they're not vegetarian. It's like, why do you hate them then? If you don't have enough reasons to hate them, and you have to make up, like, stick to your guns. Be chill with them being a non-vegetarian and hate them for the fact that they fucking suck. Like, I don't understand. It's like, if I had a friend or if I knew someone I didn't like and they did D&D, but I like D&D, I wouldn't just be like, this fucking nerd plays D&D because I don't like them. So maybe the parents suck more than you think, or maybe it's just weird. I don't know. Maybe
this fiance sucks more than we know, and it's just easier to give shit about not being vegetarian. I don't know. Either way, not the question. It all seems so inconsequential to be this big of a deal. Like, I understand the idea of like someone lying to you for this long about something so dumb, but like the idea of staying with your brother because of it seems so drastic.
I kind of get it. It's like, it's pretty messed up to like not even bring it up to your like partner that you've been invited to a mutual friend's hangout and like lie to them and then like go without their knowledge and all this shit just to facilitate this one thing. Like, that's kind of fucked up.
I agree.
And how many other things? It's been 2 years.
That's a conversation that happens, right? Like, I don't understand. Like, you have that conversation, you talk about it, and then you either like figure it out or you don't. I don't know. It just seems like
they seem like they're in the middle of trying to figure it out, right?
Yeah, I don't know. It just seems so like I think it's just because like what they're lying about is so fucking dumb that I'm having a hard time. Like, if it was like, oh, they were still secretly hanging out with their like ex-husband and going on, dinner dates with them, like I would be like, yes, I get this. This makes sense. But to be like, I don't know. I understand all the pieces. I just, it feels a bit.
But it's funny because sometimes the fact that it is such a non-event actually makes it worse. You know what I mean? Because if, again, they were like having this affair, I would understand the depths of the lying. But when it's just the vegetarianism, it's almost worse, where you're like, damn, it's so little, but you've gone through these like hoops. And like, it's this like conspiracy at this point. And like, it's just, I don't know. I would be upset to have been like lied to and manipulated to not be invited to like mutual friend hangouts. Like, that's pretty fucked up to me. But on the flip side, maybe examine why your partner feels like they need to hide this from you so badly. Because either they're just like, a lunatic or a habitual liar, or maybe you're not trustworthy. Maybe you've never had their back with your parents. Maybe they genuinely feel like you're part of the problem. And I think then we could start to go, are they overreacting by doing this? Are they in the wrong? Or do you have something to fix as well?
Yeah, because I mean, like you say, like, oh, well, my parents don't hate her because, or they hate this other person because they're not a vegetarian. They hate them because they don't like them. But like, do you know that? And does your partner know that? Like, does your fiance know that? And is it very obvious that that's the case? Because like, if literally every time you and your fiance like hang out with your parents and all they do is shit talk this other person like to an extreme, and the only thing they harp on is not being a vegetarian, I would start to understand why, if this woman wants to slam some chicken wings every now and then, would keep it a secret. I get
Again,
it.
especially if you don't have their back.
You join in and are like, yeah, that person's a piece of shit because
That
they're not a
meat-eating
vegetarian.
bitch.
Yeah.
Also,
I would-
again, back to my other point of like, if this person is hateable for whatever reason, why are they not talking about that? Why are they making up some other thing to talk? Like, if they suck, they suck. Why are you pretending it's about vegetarianism?
Yeah. So like I now like swing around of being like, maybe the reason this is such a big deal is because it is actually a big deal, despite the fact that you say that it's not. So are you upset? Like, are you upset that now there may be ammunition to use against your fiance and you were living the sweet life that your partner was perfect and the liked one? And now that potentially you are also going to be in the doghouse.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and like maybe I joked about it earlier, but like maybe your parents aren't cool with the fact that you're marrying a woman, and the fact that she's a vegetarian was sort of like a, well, you know, at least she met a good whatever. Like, I don't know if it's a cultural thing or not, but it seems pretty cultural if your whole family is vegetarian and they hate this one person who's not. Like, it seems pretty ingrained in the familiar structure of who you guys are. So I don't know. It's weird that
it is weird. Also,
that
why are your
this is
parents
the
so
like
mean?
crux of everything, right? It's the linchpin that everyone seems to
Revolve
be
around.
liked or not.
Yeah. So I think maybe you've had this conversation. It doesn't sound like you have, but like, you got to talk to your partner and be like, I understand, or try to understand where they're coming from, right? If they're like, hey, your parents are super mean, they do this bullying shit all the time, like, I don't want to get that smoke. And it's like, that's probably pretty reasonable. Why did they not tell you? Why are they doing this? Is it because you haven't had their back? Is it because you are untrustworthy? Is it because you jump in with like venom when this other person's mentioned? Like, these are all pretty reasonable things that to extrapolate from what we know, and you don't seem to be considering them at all.
Yeah, I think you need to do a hard like out of body experience and review the last couple like interactions your partner has had with your parents, and especially about this like vegetarian topic, and be like, hey, how did that play out? And how would it look from someone who's not in the family? Like, how would it look from an outsider? And put yourself in her shoes and be like, oh yeah, no, actually we're fucking monsters.
I've got mean girl parents.
Yeah, like, or maybe the whole family is like that, right?
Yeah.
Like maybe I'm the mean girl as well when I'm with my parents.
I would definitely fucking look into that. So I think you really have to re-examine that, and then in the light of that, look at how severe what they're doing was or is. Because if everything's, hunky-dory and they're going through all these elaborate lengths, yeah, maybe you can't trust them. But it doesn't seem like that. It seems like there's at least a foundation for them to have built this off.
Yeah, although what we don't know is every time they go see their parents, they're like, we love you so much, it wouldn't matter at all if you ate meat.
Yeah. Turns out the meat the other person's eating is just all like rare endangered animals.
Or human. This is from Serious Gur. Need advice. I'm a 22-year-old male. This is my first time ever being in a relationship, and this girl is moving pretty fast for me. He does note that he is a virgin in the there's like a tag that says virgin. Yeah. Now I'm very, very comfortable with a lot, and I don't feel like insanely uncomfortable. But last night she asked if she could take my blank out. Now, so the censoring is literally just 2 quotation marks and then like space. So it's not even blank. It's not stars. It's like quotes, nothing, quotes.
What could it be? His phone?
Well, maybe the next couple words will help. She asked if she could take my blank out and suck it. I didn't say no, and she did.
Suck your phone.
But she just kept saying how bad she wants to put it in and /write it so bad. I don't know why, but I'm just so scared of having an STI, STD, having a kid. I do not want a kid right now. So I've been extremely cautious with her. We've been hanging out 6 times now, and at least 3 of these times have been what I described as similar. She's very warm with it and fair to me, given my inexperience. She is 23, but I don't know how to go about when I'm talked like this. Do I tell her I want to get tests done before we do anything? I'm even scared with a condom. But if I wasn't holding back, she'd 100% just do it without a condom, I feel like, based on her horniness. She's very respectful and hasn't done anything I didn't want to do. I'm just scared I don't know, LOL. I don't want to regret anything. She also told me to, quote unquote, blank into her mouth. I don't know why, but I don't like that idea. I don't want to degrade her as a person. And I do that. And if I do that, it just doesn't feel right.
Okay. So look, buddy, I'm glad you're getting some. You need to take a breath and grow up a little bit. You're allowed to say the words, and you're also not degrading anybody by coming in their mouth or having sex with them, or women aren't this pure vessel that sex taints. You're not worried about degrading yourself, are you? That's fine. She can suck your dick and you're still fine. But if you come in her mouth, ooh, she's sullied now. It's such a shit fucking attitude. Sex doesn't sully women. So get that all the way fucking out of your brain, because there's inexperience and there's naivety, and then there's just really shitty fucking toxic views. And that's one.
Yeah, there's
a lot of the other stuff. I get it. And I understand and I have sympathy for that. I don't, because it's fucked up.
I think one of the big things for me is if you can't type out even penis.
That was the second part of me saying grow the fuck up, is you can't say the words.
Yeah. If you can't type the word penis or dick or cock or whatever word you want to use to describe your genitals, then I think maybe you should have a serious look at whether or not you are ready to be sexually active at all. Which it seems like you want to be. You are putting yourselves in the position to be sexually active. You know this woman wants to have sex with you, or at least do sexual things with you, and you keep seeing her. If it made you that uncomfortable, you wouldn't keep going back. So it seems like there is a part of you that would like to pursue a sexual relationship with this woman. Learn to say the fucking word.
My fear is that he can't even say it in person, right?
Yeah.
Because what could be easier than typing it on fucking Reddit versus in person saying hey, and that's not cute. It's not hot. It's not cool.
No.
If you can't say
weird.
It, you want me to get my out? No.
Do you want me to get it out? Should I you?
Do you want me to you and then take it out and on you? And where would you want me to?
Yeah.
Do you want me to?
I think I'm gonna.
That actually works, because it feels like he's building up to it, and he's no, that's not cute, buddy. So you need to learn to do that, because you need to have a conversation, and that conversation is going to include things like, hey, you mentioned, okay, look, we've said this before, but maybe this is your first episode. Don't have this conversation in the moment, right? She's sucking your dick. She's like, I really want to fuck you. I really want to ride you. That's not the time to be like, so I was thinking about that's not it, because heat of the moment, horny brain, blah, 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 blah. And also, if you don't have said protection at the time, it's not particularly great anyway. So have that conversation in a safe, non-horny environment of just being like, hey, you mentioned the other day that you wanted to fuck me, and I'm a virgin, as I presume she knows.
I'm sorry, what? Him?
Sorry. She wanted to you, and you're as I'm sure she knows. So tell her that you want to buy some, or at least look into getting her.
I realized that this joke is going to suck so hard for me to edit, because I do use
you're going to cut out
a pause remover. So
you should just clip this part, take it out, throw the pause remover on everything, and re-edit it back in. You have to have the conversation and just be like, hey, I'm a little nervous because it's my first time. I appreciate that you've been awesome so far, but I am actually down. We just need to make sure that are you on birth control? I'm going to get some condoms, blah, 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 blah. Right? Don't do it raw. Just straight up don't do it. It doesn't matter that she would, because you get a fucking choice.
I also think that's an unfair thing to say. It's people can be horny and still responsible.
Exactly.
Her saying that she wants to fuck you doesn't mean that she's so horny. She's an uncontrollable passion monster that wouldn't. It's just
because Dane's horny doesn't mean he's going to fuck you in the ass.
It's true.
So like that's another thing. But like, have the conversation. Make sure you're responsible for your end, which is getting condoms that fit you, that you know how to put on properly. That's the most important thing, right? If you rock up with condoms and put them on incorrectly, it's not going to do much for you, right? Ask her if she's on birth control. Talk about, plan B. Talk about if the worst would happen, like, is she willing to have an abortion, or is that totally off the table? Because that will all kind of like give you your risk assessment and like how comfortable you are. Because again, there's no 1000% effectiveness. It can be managed incredibly well by doing things responsibly, but you're always going to have to live with like an element of risk. And there's absolutely no harm if she's sexually active, asking her to get tested.
Yeah, this is it, right? Like, I understand that there's especially for men and young men, there's this fear that if you do X, Y, or Z, they're going to not want to have sex with you. And now you've lost your chance to have sex.
Yeah.
But you need to still do the things that are important and safe for you. And if you have this conversation with her and you say, hey, here are my hangups with sex. I really want to make sure we're safe. I want to make sure, like, I do not want children right now. And I want, I don't want to catch a disease or an infection. So safe sex is really, really important to me. And if she's like, ew, I only do it raw because I'm a horny girl.
I'm so horny that I'm only doing it raw. I do it right now.
Then sure, you might lose out on the sex, but like, is it worth it to put yourself in a dangerous position or whatever? Right? Like, do something you don't want to do just to have sex that you're probably not going to enjoy because you're going to be fucking terrified of all of the things that you don't want. It makes no sense to do, right? Like, it just doesn't. It's the same as like, you being like, I'm a straight guy, but like, this guy's offering me sex, so I guess I got to do it because it's sex. Like, no, it's the exact same thing. If it's sex you don't want, whether it's because it doesn't feel safe to you, or it's sex you don't want because you're not that, sexual identity, it doesn't matter. It's still sex you don't want. So you're welcome to say no to it. And don't feel like you're missing a chance, right?
Because
don't
again,
feel like you're missing out.
Missing a chance to have a bad thing is a good thing. So you be dodging a bullet. Now, I will say, please be chill when you talk about getting tested. Like, there are ways to phrase things and there are ways not to phrase things. Don't just be like, I think you have diseases. Like, that's not it. Just be normal, be responsible. Just be like, hey, I was just wondering, like, when was the last time you got tested? And like, would you be willing to go and get a test? It would just like put me at ease. Like, I am worried about these things. I'm not worried about you.
Yeah. Like, look, you're a virgin, so the likelihood of you of contracting, but like, I don't know if you've had your dick sucked before, but like, you can still catch STIs and STDs without ever having sex. It's still possible to get HPV, so possible to get herpes. So if you want to sort of like level the playing field, being like, hey, before we have sex, let's go get tested just to make sure. It'll really help take a load off my mind. It'll make me feel way more comfortable.
Sorry, Dan,
way more secure
off your mind.
Yeah, sorry. It's just one of those things where like, if you can't have these conversations, you shouldn't be having sex.
100%.
And if you have these conversations and people get upset with you or don't want to sleep with you anymore, then that's fine, because you're not with a compatible sexual partner. There are some people who will never in their entire life think of getting tested. And that will not be the partner that you should sleep with because you think about those things.
Yeah, 100%.
But don't get tested, people, for the love of God.
Yeah, but like, if you do safe sex well, you don't have to worry. Again, I'm not saying it's always going to work out, but it's like, there are backups in place. There's plan B if things go catastrophically wrong. If you put a condom on properly, you are probably going to be fine. If they have birth control and apply it properly as well. Like, I just want to assuage your fear, because like, do the stuff, but know that when you're doing the stuff, you should be okay. Because once you put the stuff in place, you need to relax and be able to enjoy sex.
You're like, look, if she's on birth control and you're using a condom and you want to take the extra step of pulling out when you're about to come as well, like,
it's overkill.
it would be incredibly difficult for at least pregnancy to happen. STIs and STDs could still happen regardless of sort of like your contraceptive methods. But like, if that makes you feel fine, if that makes you feel secure, if that means that you're going to be able to sleep at night and not be like counting down the days and hoping she says, oh, you can't, I don't really want to hook up tonight, I'm on my period. Like, I know people like that. And, you know, there were times where when I was younger, I was also like, for whatever reason, I would just be like convinced that, you know, because she hasn't said no to me for however long, I'm like, well, I feel like I hooked up with her last month and like she hasn't told me. Like it's, you can get in your head about it, especially when you don't want kids. It's a nerve-wracking thing. So like, I get it. Take the precautions you need to take to feel good. And as Nell said, like if you're doing them correctly, each additional step you take is like a leap and bound towards true protection, right? Like condom and birth control, you're riding high on safety.
Again, if you're doing them properly, even the condom, it's like if you do it properly, you're gonna know if something went wrong. So that's good. Like it's not going to be a surprise. Like if a condom fails, it's pretty obvious. So if that happens, that's plan B time. So you're good if you do them properly, but do them properly.
There are plenty of videos on the internet on how to apply condoms. And don't go to YouTube. Go to an actual sexual health or like medical website to watch and see how it's done. Yeah. Also, if you put a condom on and it's too tight or too big, abort ship. Maybe on your first time, it sucks because they're expensive now. But buy a couple sizes. Buy a regular. Buy a large. Buy an extra large. Like
try one on at home, right?
Yes.
Like,
yeah.
There's no harm with like because you don't want to be fumbling and awkward your first time. So get one. Try it on at home. If it's too tight or too big, get a different thing. If it's not, at least now you know how to put it on. And then
I will tell you, condom sizes are strange. You might think like, oh, I don't have a magnum dick, but it just might be the shape works for you. So like, don't just assume that certain sizes aren't going to be beneficial to you. It's kind of a crapshoot in my opinion. It really is trial and error until you find the condom that you like. You also don't know if you have a latex allergy, which I didn't know for a very long time.
Exactly.
So, get an assortment. If you have friends who are sexually active, maybe be like, yo, I need a condom. Don't tell them why, but like then you're getting one and you can be like, okay, well, this one doesn't work.
Or come to one of our fucking fan expo appearances. We'll give you a condom on the house.
We're not allowed.
We could do it under the table, literally.
Yeah, real sneaky like.
Yeah. All right. Thank you guys for coming. Oh, sorry. Thank you guys for.
No, I can't. We can't keep making this joke.
I don't fucking care. I'm not editing. Brr, 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 brr. We appreciate you. Thank you for swinging by. Happy 2026. And if you want to support us, please go to our Patreon, click the sign up button, get those extra episodes we're about to release. Actually, it'll probably be out by now, but our New Year's recap where we go over the trends of the year. It's always a fun one and a little interesting too. Just a little bit. Yeah. Thank you very much for listening, friends. It's great to spend time with you. Yeah. We got some fun audience questions lately. We've gotten some really nice, like someone reached out with a very, very lovely message recently. And I want you to know that made our day. If you enjoyed the show, please tell a friend. Please give us a good review wherever you listen. Please post about us on Reddit or to a friend. Please join our Patreon and help us to not go bankrupt while we record. Ideally, we would be able to do podcasting, full-time or semi-full-time. Ideally, we'd be able to pay Dane for all the editing he does. Like we do a lot of work for you guys out of the love of our hearts, out of the love of the game, but it doesn't mean we wouldn't love to be able to do it and also not be completely burnt out. But we appreciate you, and we'll see you next week.
I have to pee so bad. I thought I could make it to the end of the episode, but I can't.
Okay.
I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back.
You wish you were. Thank you, Josh Eagle and the Harvest Seeds, for their song Paper Stars. Are you ready for some bad sex writing?
Yeah.
It's not great. Not that it ever really is, but this is a tweet. Fun fact. Venezuela has 6 million women of childbearing age. Most of them are desperate for money. If we employed them as surrogates, we could easily make 60 million more Americans in one generation and fight poverty in the global South. Nice one, right wing. Starting the year off strong.
Like, is my math wrong, or are they expecting every woman to have 10 children?
I didn't. I can barely look at it, let alone think about it.
I also saw this, and it was gross.
What a cool thing to say, you fucking dirtbag.
It's not only that, what a cool way to think. Like, how fucked is your brain that you even got there? Like, not in a million years would my train of thought ever get onto this specific rail.
No, not at all. And like the thing that he's like, oh, we own Venezuela now. Oh, we fuck everyone. Like, also, all of them are desperate for money. What are you talking about?
Every single Venezuelan woman would be happy to be paid to just, I guess, become brood mothers for
the grimiest man.
Yeah.
I fucking hate it.
Yeah. It also would imply that 6 million American men, otherwise you would have a completely useless generation that could not breed with each other because they would all be related.
I'm not gonna dignify it with further analysis.
My name is Dane Miller,
I'm Niall Spain.
and I am one of the Venezuelan murder love babies.